Guys, I'm in a random hotel in Birmingham. I'm here on a press trip and I have like 45 minutes until my next thing in my itinerary. So I thought I'd actually sit down and have a little chit chat with you guys, do a little assumption game. Many of you get me wrong, and it's a little bit frustrating because I am an open book and some of you still don't understand me, which is okay. It's not that deep. Why would you need to understand me? But let's answer some assumptions that you guys have about me. I'm just gonna get comfortable on my bed. Are you guys ready? Let's jump into our questions right away. So one of my most asked questions that I received quite a lot is, you come from a wealthy family, lucky if this is the case. You're wealthy, you come from money, new money, blah blah blah. I think I get so many of these because especially recently I've been showing a bit more of a luxurious life, but all of these are like gifted experiences. It's not really me spending my money or my family spending their money. So I think because I show that, it does come across like I'm wealthy, but I'm not. But also I say that I'm not wealthy because I work in an industry where everyone around me has so much more money, especially in Dubai. So when I compare myself to them, I don't really have a lot of money. I think if I think back from like my school days or university days, I didn't really struggle to pay fees the way that a lot of students did. I don't come from generational wealth at all. My dad and mom came from very, very humble backgrounds. My dad only started making money, I think, in his early 40s. Until then, we were all living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not really old money, but I think my dad did quite well for himself, which is how my sisters and I were able to go to school and go to university and attain a certain lifestyle that we wanted. So that way, I guess we were wealthy, but definitely not in the current influencer standards that you expect. Next one, I assume that you think you make a plan and you execute it at ease. Basically, I feel like you pretend to be struggling to do things. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I don't really pretend to struggle. I think in that minute it feels like struggling, but I do think I'm quite good at picking things up. Whenever I try something new, whether it's gym or like scuba diving or at work, I've been told that I grasp things pretty quickly, but I do struggle with everything in the beginning like any other person. Do you text a lot of people? No. I hate texting people that I don't want to talk to. I hate texting strangers. I assume that you were spoiled by your parents when growing up. Not true. My parents were extremely strict with me. I was grounded most of my teenage years. None of my siblings were spoiled. Not financially, not emotionally, none of that. I would say emotionally intelligent. I think that could be true. I do think that I'm emotionally very aware of myself and also the people around me. Intelligent, I try to be. I do try to always think about another person and their emotions and the way that they think. I'm not sure if I'm fully there yet, but I definitely try. You are an absolute badass. I have always wanted to start content creation, but I don't know, maybe I'm lazy and not confident. But the moment I found you, the thought always returned to me. Thank you. It's easy to respond to hate, maybe because it probably resonates with me in some way. But whenever I get good comments, I actually don't really know how to respond as such, because accepting compliments meaning you accept what they say, and that's a little bit harder. You don't really like your family and relatives. My family and the relationship that we have now is incredible. They are very supportive. They give me everything that I need. But in terms of relatives, it's not that I don't like them, but I have a very neutral relationship with them. That you're kind of lonely. You crave being in a relationship and having someone who would make you feel loved in a romantic way. I'm not a hater, by the way. I adore you. Thank you. The reason why I preach singlehood so much is actually because I've only been single for a very short period in my life. I was in a very long-term relationship from the time I was 13 until I was 21. I had no identity of my own. I lost myself in that relationship. I didn't know who I was, and when I got out of it, I didn't know how to be happy. And shortly after that, within another year, I got into a different relationship. This was with someone that I was very close to. He was my best friend, blah, 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 blah. So many things. It left me miserable. I was in therapy for a couple of months after that relationship. I was completely betrayed. I am pretty sure both of them were not faithful. And all along, I was extremely loyal, extremely faithful, honest, communicative, and I know where it got me. It was to the depths of hell. The minute I left my second relationship, my life flipped. That's when the whole influencer thing came. My relationship with my family improved. It was like that energy had been sucked out of my life. And since then, I have understood the importance of being single and actually focusing on your dreams, and how all of us were sold this idea that you need a guy to feel happy. And I do believe that at some age, maybe in our 30s or 40s, maybe we would would need a partner, but that is not a reason for us to waste our 20s. I think we can completely romanticize our 20s and how many ever years we have. I think it's very important that we're present here right now. I have become so happy with myself that I'm terrified of being in a relationship. I am low-key scared of meeting the right person because I have made such a comfortable life for myself. I just can't imagine waking up and not having control over my day. Like today, if I wake up and my boyfriend decides not to text me, I'm screwed, and I hate that feeling. You care about money like a billionaire. You want to become one and you don't mind if your choices harm others. I do care about money a lot. Money is a very huge part of my life. It's a very huge part of my future and the vision that I have for myself. That being said, I don't really know what you mean by you don't mind if your choices harm others. I'm very to myself. I have a very small circle. I don't think I'm that money hungry where I will make choices that are hurting people as such. I think very few of us actually have that kind of power. Yeah, I don't really know how to answer this. I don't think I would, but I also don't understand the context of the question. You supported Palestine to get more followers, and I'm sure you call Hamas terrorists. You're a liberal Zionist. So when I first put up the post of I support Palestine or I stand with Palestine, it was, I think, October 11th or 10th. At that stage, everything was very new. Nobody was talking about Palestine. People were very scared to take a stand. And I took that stand. This is also the time when people in India or my followers in India barely knew what was going on. And I had a little bit more information about Israel and Palestine because I live in the Middle East. So when I put up that post, I lost 3,000 followers on my first day, or I think within the first 2 days. And I had so many comments of people who also commented that I'm unfollowing you. I had received maybe 50 to 60 DMs from people, my own followers, who also said, we never expected this from you and we're unfollowing you and I'm so disappointed in you. So that being said, that would have been a great time maybe for me to stop supporting Palestine or for me to stop that content. But I did not. I spoke about Palestine for the next 1 to 2 months. My content was only that. Multiple posts on Palestine, multiple stories on Palestine. Meta restricted my account. To this day, I still cannot have a broadcast channel on Instagram because of my Palestine related content. I also cannot go live on Instagram for a couple more weeks because of this. The reason I don't share these is because I don't think I deserve a pat on my back for any of this. This is the bare minimum that we can do. But when I get comments like this, I think it's important to share the fact that all of us, especially people with a platform, we do receive some kind of backlash and we also face some issues which affects our career and which affects the platforms that we are on. Anyway, so after I lost 3,000 followers, I never stopped posting about Palestine. Then I did one video which went viral. Again, at this stage, I didn't do it because I thought it would go viral. It was none of that. Through that video, I did gain a few thousand followers. Just because I gained those followers does not mean I did it for those followers. It just happened to be a byproduct of it. And because I've been very vocal about it, I do receive a lot of comments to this day about why I don't post about Palestine the same way that I did initially. And I know this isn't one of those things where there is a right way to approach it or a wrong way to approach it. But I felt really shitty posting about Palestine and posting about children losing their limbs and then the next day talking about a new product that I just got from work. And the thing is, it is my work to promote products, to talk about this new lipsticks that launched, to talk about the fact that I'm in London, to talk about this hotel that I'm in. That is my job and I cannot fully stop that. And it didn't sit right with me to constantly show lifeless bodies and continue with my work. That is the reason that I have reduced posting about Palestine. That being said, I have not stopped donating and I've also turned down brand partnerships worth thousands of dollars of brands that are being boycotted. I've been approached, even just yesterday, I got approached by a brand to promote a certain product that they've launched, which I said no to, which are being accepted by a lot of influencers in the Middle East. Once again, I'm not saying this because I deserve a pat on the back, but there are things that I'm doing behind the scenes which I feel more comfortable with than sharing these videos and also doing my work. I think that contradiction of both the worlds didn't sit right with me and I would rather help quietly than share these posts and depict a certain lifestyle. Now, if you're watching this, you might say, well, then yes, you should stop everything. Then yes, you should only talk about Palestine. But like, if you're being completely honest to yourself, is that something that you can do? Would you be able to completely stop your work? If your work was dependent on relationships, your public platform, the brands that you know, the people that you know, would you turn down everything? Say no to all that money? If you are, you have all the right in the world to criticize me and to call me names. But if you wouldn't do that yourself, I think maybe just think twice. I'm not going to give a very sassy answer or hate on you or like shit on people who are criticizing me at all, because at the end of the day, I do understand that all of us want a free Palestine and all of us have a good intention at heart. But sometimes when we speak to each other, it could get lost in translation. And the last thing that I would want is for us to turn against each other and for us to shift the focus away from Palestine by focusing on what I'm doing and what you're doing on your stories. I can only hope for your understanding, and even if not, if you feel better unfollowing me, you have the freedom to do so, but I am trying my best. The only reason you spend on costly bags or material things is to fit in. And you actually mind paying money in these, but you have to do it for the gram. I don't really know from where you guys assume that I buy luxury bags. Honestly, if you have that assumption about me, that makes me very happy, but I actually don't own any luxury bags at all. I'm not a huge believer in owning luxury until you actually can afford it twice, because a lot of people, especially in Dubai, they spend on luxury bags, luxury shoes, and then they worry about frivolous expenses, which is completely against what I think about money. That being said, I do love money and I want to get rich and I want to get very comfortable. The coolest person I've ever come across on the internet, absolutely sensational, authentic through and through. Thank you. I actually don't know what to say. I got a little bit awkward there. You are shy in real life. Absolutely true. Nobody believes this, but I'm a very shy person. I'm very introverted. I don't really speak out of turn when I'm actually in group settings with new people. I'm only this loud, snobby, annoying on social media because that's where I actually feel the most like myself. But I'm that loud only in spaces where I'm comfortable. So if I'm seeing someone for the first time, I'm very shy and very introverted. I don't think you like socializing. I hate small talk. I can't do it. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at small talk. But unfortunately, you have to actually, in this industry, you need to. So in that way, I can like get by. But do I love it? Do I get energized like extroverts? No. You're an inspiration to so many people, and I don't think you know the magnitude of how motivating you are to people. Yeah, I don't think I do. I don't think I'm doing a lot, but thank you. That's very nice to know. You try super hard to fit in. I think it's very hard for people to understand how difficult it is to actually fit in Dubai, in the influencer industry, in the field of work I'm in. It's impossible for someone like me unless I completely change my identity, the way I speak, the brands that I buy, the clothes that I wear. It's just not possible. So that's why I'm honest and I'm more authentic, because that is what comes naturally to me and that is what I can do without struggling. You aren't as rude as you act like you are. I'm only rude online to people that actually bully me, but in general, I'm not really rude to people that I don't know. So I'm very normal. I'm not like snobby the way some people think I am. You are comfortable in front of the camera and enjoy being in the spotlight. I'm very comfortable in front of the camera. It's the one place that I'm actually super comfortable. About being in the spotlight, I think on social media, I like being in the spotlight. In person, I don't. It makes me super uncomfortable. I don't enjoy it. So no. You feel like you have to overcompensate for what you might feel you lack. I think more than me as a person, I feel like it's a brown person thing. I feel like we always need to excel in something in order to be normal. But in other aspects, I don't really think I overcompensate. You're excellent with finances, like spreadsheet down to the cent. Nope, I suck at it. I'm not extravagant spender, but I'm not as organized as this. You are religious. I am more spiritual, but I definitely believe in the existence of a higher power, God. I believe in all of that. That you are snobby, but saw the story where you said you're a people pleaser and agreed to avoid confrontation. So I have certain areas in my life where I'm a people pleaser. To strangers who don't change my life or who aren't useful for me or who want to shit on me, I'm not a people pleaser. I don't give a fuck about them. But in person or at work or people that I actually respect, I'm a huge people pleaser. If I respect someone, I'm the biggest people pleaser. I don't know how to say no. I don't know how to draw boundaries. I'm really bad at it. You don't know the type of guy you want, but you know the type of guy you don't want in your life. That is very true because I've never been in a loving, healthy relationship. So it's hard for me to think about what I need. I don't actually know what I need from a guy, but I think I know what I don't need. I hate men who don't know what they want from their lives. I hate it. I hate men who don't respect others. Hate it. Men who cannot keep their word. Hate it. I lose respect for them. I used to get hurt and upset before. Now I just lose respect. I cannot stand a guy who can't keep his word. You used to fat shame people, but not anymore. I don't know why I got this assumption that is completely false. No, I never used to fat shame anyone. You want to make money from just one date story. Not true, only because when I talk about the same thing over and over again, people also get bored, which I know. I shared that experience and people resonated with it and I got a lot of comments. Some were true, some were false. So I only made content after that because of the fact that I wanted to clear those assumptions or clear those conversations. It wasn't necessarily to make more money. You have body image issues. Untrue. I don't. I think I have a very healthy relationship with my body and with fitness now that I'm very grateful about. You don't disclose all your partnerships. False. I think you need to disclose partnerships, mainly because agencies and brands, they will also face issues if an influencer does not disclose partnerships. You love learning about history. False. I hate it. Not an assumption, but do you think your concepts of dating men collides with feminism? Like wanting men to provide and be solution-oriented or take leads. Have you thought of women taking initiative or equally splitting responsibility in dating? I do not think it collides with feminism, and this is actually one of the things that I had to relearn in my 20s. I am and was a hyper-independent person. I still do not know how to ask men for help because I want to prove that I'm capable of doing these things. And I had that for a long time in my early 20s. I never expected any of the men that I was dating to take care of me or take me on dates or none of that. And like I shared before, I know where it took me. It was nowhere. Whenever I've met an actual good guy, I don't know how his heart is, but at least outwardly he has always seemed masculine. They want to take care of the women in their life, and they have a little bit of an ego when a woman who is with them tries to do things on her own. And it's not in a toxic masculinity way, it is simply because they feel like it's a responsibility. I have also personally seen it in my family when a guy that takes no initiative enters. It completely ruins the family dynamic. It ruins the relationship between a man and a woman. And me being, one of 3 daughters, the 3 of us were always raised to be independent, rely only on ourselves or on our mom or whatever to get things done. Yes, of course, we have my dad, but apart from that, we don't really have like a brother who takes care of these things. So we've always been very independent. And because of that, me or my sisters, we don't actually know what it's like to rely on a guy. But I've seen it within the family, how a marriage unfolds. It's not good. And as women, as independent as we want to be, at the end of the day, I believe that we love to be taken care of, and we always respect a guy more when he's got his shit together. You'd only date elites and not as proletarians. So I did check what proletarians mean. I don't actually know what it means. So proletarians are wage earners. I think that's what I saw online. So if that is the exact definition, that is partially true. And it is not because I think proletarians are below me or beneath me, but obviously when you get into a relationship or a marriage, the finance aspect of that is very important. I think it's very important that you're aligned financially, and I don't think it would be a healthy relationship to date someone who isn't similar or have the same ideas of me or the similar income as me. For a relationship to work, I think you have to be very aligned. You low-key are a lover girl. Absolutely true. I think any woman like me who is always like preaching about standards and singlehood and being alone and not reducing your self-worth, all of us have been hurt and have been tricked into believing that being cool gets you somewhere. I think once I meet a great person, I will be such a great girlfriend. I'm going to be super supportive. That's why I'm even more particular about the person that I date. I don't mess around like that, so I have to protect my energy, and that comes with... My camera just died, so I've had to recharge. But let's continue. You had to fight with becoming confident and sometimes still do. I think my insecurity hit me like a truck after university. It was after I got into my job, because I was suddenly meeting people from very different walks of life, and I wasn't exposed to different cultures before, so I didn't understand a lot of the things that they were speaking. I didn't understand their behavior. There was such a huge culture shock there. But over the past 4 years, I've really worked on that. Secretly in love with the guy who took you for a walk. You must be joking to think that, because until then, yes, I've gone on bad dates, but it never really shocked me. It was always like a joke that I would tell my friends. This was the first time I got back and I was in shock. Like, I had to process what had just happened. So absolutely not. You would be a great gossip buddy. I'm the biggest gossip queen. When me and my girlfriends gossip, there is an electric shock between us. I don't know what energy it is. It energizes me for life. I'm a great gossip buddy. You're hooking up with someone even though you're over the whole dating game. That's not true. It's just not for me. Like, I know it. And also, I also don't think it's for a lot of women, but I feel like we kind of trick ourselves into thinking that we are so for, that hookup culture or whatever. But I know so many people who are really unhappy doing it, but they do. Even if there's no emotion to it, I think it is still an exchange of some kind of energy. And I do feel like if you engage in it way too much, I just do not think it is good for you. So I would not encourage that. I do not think it's empowerment. Really cool, funny, and inspiring to many young girls, but naive and careless when it comes to politics, Israel versus Palestine. If you think I am naive and careless because I'm a pro-Palestinian, then yes, I am naive and extremely careless. I think you come from a toxic household, but now that you've moved out of your parents' house, your relationship has gotten better and you've healed from childhood trauma. I wouldn't say toxic household, but I don't think it was the healthiest. Definitely my relationship with my mom has gotten so much better after I moved out, because now when we meet, we actually have plans and it's quality time and we don't spend that arguing about something so unnecessary, which would definitely happen if I was staying home. You're not keen on watching series or movies unless it stands out. Very true. I hate watching movies. My attention span could never. I went through a rough breakup in late 2023 and your content helped me heal and see singlehood as a chance to grow and be the best version of myself. That's my goal. Do you think you're a perfectionist? No. And I also don't think people who call themselves perfectionists are actually perfectionists. You are not pre-prepared in any reel that you share or any story you do. You're spontaneous. Love that about you. I usually come back home from like work, and then maybe on the drive back I'll be thinking of something. So when I get back to my room, I sit and chat about it and just share it on social media literally immediately. So I film it over the next 1 hour and then I share it over the next 1.5 hours. You deeply value people's perceptions about you, but at the same time want people to value you. So I have this very simple mantra in my life, which is if you would not swap your lives with them, then you should not listen to them, which is very true. If I meet someone who I really admire and I want their life and then they criticize me, I will take it very personally. But if it's coming from like online trolls or like from fake accounts, I don't give a fuck. It's like you're so irrelevant to me. Initially, I assumed that you were like any other influencer seeking attention and showing off. However, I've come to the conclusion that you're a true influencer, genuinely aiming to inspire people to improve their lifestyle, vision, and goals. That seems a little bit like a backhanded compliment, but I will still take it. I assume you've been celibate for a long time. It's not a diss. No, I think being celibate is not a diss at all, especially in the current world right now where people get into a lot of meaningless relationships. I don't judge them at all by this. This is not me judging them in any way. It's just me kind of questioning what we've been told about like relationships and stuff. That you're sweet deep down, but a little bit stuck up on the outside to stick to character. If you answered me a couple of weeks ago, you would have had the best time in London. Also, I feel like you have a foot fetish. Where does this come from? I don't have a foot fetish. I'm not really stuck up. I'm just not an overly extroverted person. I just can't go up to someone and spend a lot of time there. I'm not that person who will message someone and say, we should hang out. I don't think I've ever done that in my life. It's just not me. I'm too shy to do that. Have you ever dealt with photo dysmorphia where you think you look good in the mirror and when you use your front camera, but not when someone takes a photo of you? Absolutely. But this is because we are so used to seeing ourselves through reflections. A mirror, a phone, escalators, wherever it is, we see a flipped version of ourselves. So when someone takes a picture of you where the photo is not inverted, it is very normal for us to look different. I don't like most of the pictures that are taken of me, but I also know that it's because of the fact that I'm used to seeing myself as a reflection. But this whole thing, it happens a lot in the influencer industry because I've worked with a lot of influencers and we're always taking pictures or whatever. Nobody likes how they look on the back camera. Everyone is so used to how they look on the front camera. So it is not just you. So don't worry. You hate when men help you out. I don't hate it. I'm just uncomfortable with it because I'm so used to doing everything on my own. It's not something that I prefer they don't do. I think they should still do it. I just need to get better at accepting the help. And with that, we have come to an end of our video. I know this was a super random little chit chat, but I feel like sometimes we should do this, get to know each other a little bit more. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you maybe got to know me a little bit more and maybe I cleared up some of the assumptions that you've had about me. By the way, if you haven't checked out my last couple of videos, please make sure you do. I'm now more active on YouTube. This is the platform that I am looking to build. I'm excited for us to be spending a lot more longer time together. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and comment down more assumptions about me. I'll be replying in the comment section to say if it's true or false. Good night.